Hitting 100 grams of protein a day does not mean having to eat dry chicken breast and broccoli on repeat. I know because I've spent 12 years building a food delivery service that serves tens of thousands of high protein meals a week. And not a single one of them is sad chicken breast in Tupperware. But here's the thing that most people get wrong. The problem isn't that you don't know that protein is important. Everyone knows that now. But the problem is that standard protein advice is so boring. And so you can't stick with it. And if you can't stick with it, then the number doesn't really matter. So today, I'm going to show you how to eat 120 grams of protein in a way where you can actually stick with it and enjoy it across 10 different cuisines, giving you more variety than you ever thought possible. Quick context on why this number matters, because I don't want you to take my word for it. So the RDA for protein is 0.8 grams per kilogram of body weight. But keep in mind, this is a minimum, not the optimal amount. Current research shows that the optimal amount is actually somewhere between 1.2 to 1.6 grams per kilogram of body weight. That's about 82 to 109 grams of protein a day for someone who weighs about 150 pounds. And if you train seriously, then you're gonna need even more than that. But the problem is, most Americans are only getting 70 to 80 grams of protein a day. And if you're a woman over 40, it turns out the number is even lower than that. It's more like 50 to 60 grams a day. So the gap between what people actually need and what they're actually eating is large and important. I mean, this matters for metabolism, for body composition, for how well you age. Protein isn't just some fitness trend, it is literally the most important macronutrient that we are under eating today. Okay, so here's where it gets fun. So most people think high protein and they think immediately of chicken breasts, egg whites, protein shakes, maybe even Greek yogurt or skyr. And look, these are fine. I eat these all the time, but they are a fraction of what is available. And if you eat the same 3 protein sources every day, you are going to get bored of it. It's a burnout issue, it's a variety issue. It isn't really a willpower problem. So here are 5 protein sources that most people overlook. They all hit at least 30 grams of protein per serving, and they bring something to the table nutritionally that chicken breast doesn't. Number 1, wild salmon. 6 ounces of wild salmon gives you 34 grams of protein. But that's not why it's special. This also gives you omega-3s and vitamin D, things that most people are deficient in. And these things are not only anti-inflammatory, but they also improve your brain health. Chicken breast gives you 0 of that. So think of miso glazed salmon over forbidden rice. Or you can do something a little sweeter, or salmon teriyaki with edamame. Maybe a salmon poke bowl with avocado and ginger. These are meals that you would actually order at a restaurant, and they happen to also be protein powerhouses. Number 2, grass-fed beef, my personal favorite. This one gets a really bad rap, but research on moderate red meat consumption shows that when it comes from quality sources, it is actually very nuanced how healthy it is for you. 5 ounces of grass-fed beef gives you 36 grams of protein, and it also is going to give you iron, zinc, and B12. These nutrients are critical for energy, proper hormone function, and also immune function, especially for women. Think braised beef bourguignon or gochujang beef bibimbap, or maybe a cumin spiced beef. It doesn't always have to be steak and potatoes. Number 3, wild shrimp. Here's your best kept secret for protein density. 6 ounces of shrimp gives you 36 grams of protein for only 170 calories. That's pretty much the highest protein to calorie ratio of any whole food. So if you are watching your calories and also still trying to maximize your protein intake, then you need to be eating wild shrimp. Think Thai basil shrimp stir fry, Mediterranean shrimp salad, chili lime shrimp over quinoa, all 30 plus grams of protein and under 300 calories. Number 4, lamb. Lamb is probably one of the most underrated, underused proteins in America. 5 ounces gives you 36 grams of protein, and it has a really similar nutrient profile to beef. You're gonna get the zinc, you're gonna get the B12, you're gonna get the iron, you're gonna get the conjugated linoleic acid, which has been linked to improvements in body composition. And the flavor profile is incredible. Za'atar lamb kofta, Mediterranean lamb meatballs. If you've never cooked with lamb, you are missing out on one of the highest protein, most delicious proteins. Number 5, there are a lot of quality fish out there beyond wild salmon. Think sea bass, cod, halibut, ahi tuna. These all have 36 to 42 grams of protein. And they have very different flavors and textures. Pistachio crusted cod, grilled halibut with a charred corn relish, seared ahi tuna poke bowl. Well-prepared fish is one of the most protein-dense, delicious sources of protein. Okay, theory is great, but let me show you what 100 grams of protein looks like throughout a day when you're getting it from all whole foods, no protein shakes, no protein bars. For breakfast, you could have something like smoked salmon with egg whites. This will give you 30 grams of protein and only 320 calories. This will also give you omega-3s first thing in the morning. The egg whites keep it lean, and it takes only 5 minutes if you're cooking it yourself. Lunch, you could do an ahi tuna poke bowl. You could serve it with avocado, cucumber, and forbidden rice. This would give you 40 grams of protein and only 380 calories. I would serve it with pickled ginger, ponzu sauce. This is a meal you would pay $22 for at a restaurant, and it is way tastier than just eating chicken breast. Dinner, how about a 48-hour braised grass-fed beef bourguignon with root vegetables? 42 grams of protein and 475 calories. I would make sure you also have root vegetables and maybe serve it with a gremolata. So this is like a French bistro dinner, and it contains more protein than most people eat in 2 meals. So that's 112 grams of protein spread out across 3 meals and fewer than 1,200 calories for the whole day. And you're also eating a diversity of cuisines, not just a diversity of proteins. And you could swap any of those. You could have maybe a frittata for breakfast that has ground chicken in it. You could make yourself like a Thai basil shrimp stir fry for dinner. Swap what you want, but you're still eating 100 grams of protein every day. And you're getting a ton of variety throughout the month, making it way easier to stick with eating high protein. Like, hitting your protein goal should not require discipline. It really just requires good food. So if it's this simple, why aren't more people doing it? I'll tell you what I see after 12 years of feeding over 125,000 different people. Reason 1, they default to what is easiest. So protein bars, protein shakes, grilled chicken, this is easy. The problem is it works for about 2 weeks and then they get bored of it and then they get off track. Reason 2, they don't plan. Protein is one of those macros that's really hard to hit spontaneously because when you're out there just ordering whatever's available, most of those meals are packed with carbs and fat and have very little protein. So if you don't have protein always ready to go, you are probably going to under-eat protein. Reason 3, they think that eating high protein means bland food because for whatever reason, we associate high protein diets with egg whites and chicken breast and Greek yogurt. This is because I feel like the fitness community has done us a little bit of a disservice and made it look like in order to hit your protein targets, you have to sacrifice flavor by eating just these proteins. But it isn't true. A miso glazed salmon bowl has 38 grams of protein. You can make a duck confit casserole so yummy with 38 grams of protein. You can make a pork carnitas bowl with 37 grams of protein. So these are not sacrifices. These are going to be some of the yummiest meals that you can eat. So the fix, if you're struggling to hit your protein target, isn't more willpower. It is just developing a better food system that works for you. So here's what I'd tell anyone who is struggling with this. Stop trying to willpower your way to 100 grams of protein a day. If you're eating boring food, it isn't going to work. I have watched thousands of people try to eat healthy this way, and it does not last. The ones who succeed long-term are the ones who figure out a way to eat, a methodology for eating that they actually enjoy. I mean, this is why I built methodology the way I did. Every meal has 30 to now up to 65 grams of protein, but is completely delicious. You're getting tons of varieties of protein across different cuisines, and you're really actually going to enjoy eating a high protein diet because of that variety. Like, we even have a crab, lamb, lobster. We have everything on the menu, duck even. So if you eat 3 of our meals a day, you're always gonna hit 100 to 140 grams of protein every day without trying, without meal prepping, without having to think about it. But obviously that's not the only way to do this. You could meal prep yourself. You could work with a nutritionist. You could hire a personal chef. That's all fine. But if you want a system that has worked for over 125,000 people, that is known for having the tastiest high protein foods in the world, then the link is in the description. Long story short, please stop punishing yourself with food in the name of protein. You can eat incredibly well, I promise you, and still hit your numbers. They are not in conflict. If this was helpful, subscribe. I'm going to be doing more videos to explain how you can make nutrition actually work for you in your life. And drop your favorite high protein meal in the comments because I read everyone and we're always looking for new meal ideas.